We are currently on the ferry to Northern Ireland from Cairnryan to Belfast, and it's just a short trip to visit my partner's mum. And we decided that we're also going to look at some historical sites and monuments, as we usually like to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to advise you that we are now approaching the port of Belfast.
So the first site is Proleek Portal Tomb, and we just dipped briefly south of the border. So this is in the Republic of Ireland. It's a megalithic tomb, and megalithos simply means large stone. It was probably built by farmers around 3000 BC, and it would have been an entrance to a large tomb which may have had a cairn or stone mound around it. And Proleek itself comes from the Irish word for obscure. So this is the next day, and we are on our way up Slieve, the mountain of the hoof. It's 534 meters high, which is 1,752 feet, and you have a beautiful panorama across the Mourne Mountains. Now this mountain, Slieve, or hill I should say, is even older than the Mourne Mountains. It's older than 380 million years apparently. And both of these ranges were formed by ice sheets which were slowly pushing down from Donegal during the Ice Age. And they would have deepened the valleys and heaped up the mountains in the area.
Binion's the one like through, I think. Donard is that one there. See the one? Oh, wait, no, Donard's. Oh, I think Donard's that one over there. It's sort of like it's not the one to the right, but it's the one just to the left of that.
Okay, let's start with the one the sun is setting on.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that is. To the left of that, right? And this is, I think that's Slieve Donard. Not completely sure. Oh no, wait, no, that's Donard there. That one. It's the one on the far left. That's Donard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This hill is also known as 12 Cairns, that's the local nickname. That's because there are cairns on top of this. They are also associated with Neolithic farming communities who settled in the fertile hills between 4000 and 2300 BC. They left behind many chambered tombs built from stone and megalithic passages such as the Proleek one that you saw earlier. It is thought that this would have been one big cairn originally, which was later arranged into 12, giving it its name. And Slieve was also a place where people celebrated the Celtic festival of Lnasa, and this was in honour of the sun god Lu. It was usually held in August at harvest times, and it was to encourage the sun to shine through the harvest months. On the way up, people would pick bilberries, also known as belayberries, which gave it the name of Belayberry Sunday. And then up on the top there would be dancing and fiddling, and this was done as late as the 1950s here. These are the sounds of ravens. We are walking along an Irish country road, and we are on our way to see some more historical sites. Now we also found this old abandoned house on our way. You can see Slieve there in the distance. So we're now on our way to Legananny Dolmen. at Legananny Dolmen. It's another Neolithic portal tomb dating from about 2500 to 2000 BC. It's a tripod dolmen, the tallest leg is about 2 meters high. It would have also been covered with a mound of stones and earth. People were fascinated by these tombs and gave them names such as Druid's Altar and Giant's Grave. And dolmen itself comes from the Breton word tolmen and means stone table. Even the surrounding area is named after this dolmen, Legananny, which from Irish means pillar stone of Anya, who is a mythological mother goddess that the warrior Finn McCool fell in love with. The last thing that we are seeing today is Binder's Cove, Souterrain, and this is associated with an early Christian settlement of the 5th century AD. By that time, people were in closer contact with the Roman world, and technological advances arose in agriculture and food production, which led to populations growing. So just for reference, the entrance is 1 meter high, and later on it does get a bit higher up to about 1.5 meters, so you still have to duck on the inside, and the tunnel itself is about 30 meters long. Souterrains are hidden underground components usually built under or around ring forts, which are the popular settlements of the time. They were made by digging trenches and lining them with dry stone, roofing them with large lintels and covering them with soil. The function is debated, but is commonly assumed to be places of refuge and occasionally sites for storage, because they would have provided quick shelter from sudden enemy raids that sought to capture cattle and people. You have to imagine a bandit would have to crawl into this dark tunnel where any number of people could be waiting for him, and he had no knowledge of the circular routes inside of it either. These may have been built by builders who specialised on doing souterrains, because there is a little bit of regional variation between them. This is day 3 and it is very stormy now, so we have decided just to have a relaxing day in Newcastle. We're going to a place called Cove, which is a spa that also offers seaweed baths. But on the way there we stopped by this nice viewpoint to have a quick look at the Mourne Mountains whilst the wind is blowing away my camera. As you can see, it is super stormy down here by the sea, and the microphone is really taking a beating. So here we are entering Cove. So before you go into the seaweed bath, you can choose your music, and you can also open up your pores in a steaming cabin, and it takes about 1 hour and it's quite relaxing. I'm back out into the storm. We are at the Trumbull Aroni church and schoolhouse where Patrick Bronte was teaching before he moved to England and had a family of 6. 3 of those are the 3 famous Bronte sisters, Charlotte, Emily and Anne Bronte, who are well-known authors. The family was very ill-fated. His wife Maria was intelligent but developed cancer and died at the age of 38 when her children were still very young. The oldest 2 children, Maria and Elizabeth, died from tuberculosis at the age of just 11 and 10. The 3rd daughter was Charlotte Bronte. After working as a governess, which she hated, she became a writer, and after publishing a poetry book with her sisters under a pseudonym in 1846, she decided to finally publish her first novel, Jane Eyre, in 1847, which was an instant success, followed up by 2 other novels which cemented her as a celebrity in literary circles. At the age of 39, she died in the early stages of her pregnancy, just 9 months after her wedding in 1855. However, she was actually the last child to die. The 4th child was the only boy, called Branwell. He was also very intelligent, but he, in many respects, failed to build a career. He tried to be a portrait painter but couldn't make a living. He became a tutor but was sacked within a year. He was 27 and back home, disgraced. At that point he became addicted to alcohol and opium, and he died from tuberculosis at the age of 31. The 5th child was Emily Bronte. She was tall, strong and an accomplished pianist. She wrote poems from the moment she learned to read, and her debut novel in 1847 was Wuthering Heights, and she also died from tuberculosis at the age of 30. Anne Bronte was the 6th child, and she was only 20 months old when her mother died. She was asthmatic and frail, but serious-minded and deeply religious, and she also worked as a governess and hated it. Her debut was Agnes Grey in 1847, and she wrote a 2nd novel called Wildfell Hall in 1848, which examines the consequences of married women's lack of legal rights. She died at the age of 29 on May 1849, just the year after Emily and Branwell. The one who survived them all was the father, Patrick. He lived to the ripe age of 84. He basically survived his whole family. And then just to round off the trip, we found yet another dolmen. This is Gowen Dolmen, and it's dated to about 2500 to 2000 BC. There used to be a thatched house in the background when it was first photographed in the late 19th century, but it has since decayed, and the huge granite capstone which sits on top is estimated to weigh about 50 tons and has slipped sideways from the original position. There was a cremation urn and flint arrowhead found inside in 1834. And this is the end of our short trip to Northern Ireland. We are back on the ferry to Scotland. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.